What's up, everybody? Filip, you guys, back at it again with another video, the long-awaited video, as some people were saying in my chat. But no, I'm kidding. I've been promising to make a video about my custom tactics, because sometimes from the people that do watch me over on Twitch, I will sometimes get the question like, "Oh, hey, what's your custom tactics? Like, can you share them, or can you show your team, whatever?" And that's the reason for me making this video. By no means at all am I a top X amount of player. Definitely not. But I do feel like I have quite a balanced playstyle that is easy to copy if people do want to use it. All right. So that's a little explanation right here. I have two custom tactics to explain to you guys. Basically, my main that I use and then my backup if the main is not working. So yeah, on the screen right now, you guys can see my record. I'm currently going 124-1 in 27. I'm not going to lie to you guys. At least half of my losses, or even more, have been disconnects, bugginess, lag in the game, or whatever. I don't want to hype myself up or whatever, but I've been doing pretty good for the start of this year. All right, I think that's gonna change definitely as the meta goes on, but as of now, I'm doing pretty good. I'm actually quite happy with the wins that I've been getting. So yeah, but let's stop yapping and let's go on over to squad. So I was saying two custom tactics, and as you guys can see on the screen right now, this is my main custom tactic. So I play a 4-4-2 as my main tactic. A little bit about the team that I want to explain to you guys. The fullbacks, you definitely want to have pacey fullbacks. Me personally, do I push forward with my fullbacks a lot? No, not really. But you do want to have some pace on them because I play them on balance personally. I'll go into detail for that in a little bit. But I do push up sometimes with my fullbacks just to assist in the attack. And on the counter, 4-4-2 it can be a little iffy. All right. That's what I'm going to warn you about. If you struggle against counterattacking, this formation might not be it. Because your two center mids usually come forward, your two wingers usually come forward, and your two wingbacks are a little pushed up forward. So on the counter attack, more often than not, it is literally your backline that's just defending. You can pull your center mids back. That's the whole point of it. But if your opponent is like full on counter attack, just push, like to the point where like they're not even passing back to build up, you're not going to have your center mids to assist you in defending, right? So you definitely want to have like a really solid defense. Invest the most amount of money, I would say, in your defense, because that's where the magic will happen. Like if you dominate in defense, this formation will reward you in attack. Like I can promise you that. But then for the wingers don't really matter. I like using pacey wingers like Diani and Nico Williams right here. They have over 90 pace. Nico Williams even has rapid. But as long as you have somebody that with like 85 or above pace, it is perfectly fine. The point you want to be doing here is basically like Chabumkun, Patri, and Nico Williams, and then Pina, Vitinha, and Diani. You basically want to be making triangles with them, right? And obviously your wingers are the ones that are going to push up the field. Like how I personally use my wingers is like you use your wingers to push up the field, and then you can cut back and pass around the box. That's kind of how I play, and it is a playstyle that can be easily copied. So you guys definitely want to look into that. If you're struggling with attacking this year, as like a lot of people, I think, because defending is very manual this year, right? So a lot of people are playing 4-2-3-1 with two CDMs, and it's just blocking the defense, it's parking the butts and everything. But with a formation like this, you're basically pushing up the field, and you're putting yourself in a position where you're at least close to their goal, right? So that's why I like using this. But let me get into the custom tactics themselves. So for my tactics, obviously you want to go custom 4-4-2 flat, and then balanced build-up style balance. I've used this for the past so many years, just balanced. It does the job. And then for defensive approach, I use high. I play very high press, guys. I play very high press. You'll see me like pressing with multiple players, switching back, like tracking back. I usually concede a little bit more goals than other people, but I am like onto you. I don't really like when I get bored. I get bored from defending in just a static way, just like parking the bus. I really do not enjoy that. I still want to focus on playing the game in a fun way. So that's why I had this on high. People say like, oh, have you tried 80, 90, or 95? Some people have been talking. I would not like 95. I have not tried it this year. I'm not going to lie to you. I've just used 70, stuck with 70. It's been doing the job. But I would not try 95 with this formation, because you would be so high up the pitch. I feel like you would get caught lacking so often on a counter attack. All right, but this is basically what you want to do. Then for the player roles, as I said, on your fullbacks, just have them on fullback and balance. For your keeper, ball playing keeper is actually quite nice. It pushes them forward and it avoids certain situations. I was skeptical about this until I saw this from like a pro player that they were using this, and I was like, okay, I see that my keeper is doing like slight movements themselves, and it is helping. They play a little bit more forward, which is nice. For the defenders, defend is what I use. It does the job. Some people have been like playing ball playing defender, but honestly, if something works for me, I just leave it be. I think this is the most neutral thing that you can have for your defense. If for some reason you're the type that triggers your fullbacks a lot and you do it by accident or you don't want it, maybe put them on focus defend instead of balanced. Personally, it's a lot less than last year. Last year, if you had your fullbacks on balance, they would actually push forward quite a bit. And this year, I don't really have that feeling. So use that. Honestly, use that. It's perfectly fine. Then for your two center mids, you want to have focus on having one that is really good in defending. So for me, that's Patri. She has like 86 defending, I think. I have her on holding, and then Vitinha on center mid box to box. Do you have to use Vitinha? Obviously, no. Like, or a defender of his, or a midfielder, sorry, of his caliber? Not at all. You just want to have somebody that has a little bit more pace, that can run up and down the field. You would think like, okay, Vitinha doesn't have a lot of pace. I'm not gonna lie, I have him untradeable, so I'm just using him. Is he the perfect fit for this formation? Not at all. But he has passing play styles, and that's what I like a lot. What I like a lot, guys, in a 4-4-2, since all of your players are so involved in tiki-taka and build-up play, you want to have a bunch of passing play styles with them. So as you guys can see, Vitinha has incisive, long ball, and tiki-taka. Not long ball, but incisive and tiki are, to me, the two most important ones. Last year, ping pass was very important to me as well. But this year, I feel like incisive and tiki-taka, especially in the beginning of the year, just does the job. So as long as your two center mids have that, that is perfectly fine to me. The more players that have tiki-taka and incisive, the better. Because through balls are so overpowered this year. Over the air, like over the ground. Tiki is obviously super important, just as last year, but even more this year, I feel like. That's why I just, I definitely recommend that. Then for your wingers, inside forward, same as last year, but have them on balance. If you put it on forward, I've noticed they push up a little bit too much forward and they stay forward, which will cause them not helping you in defense. You want them tucking back, you want them coming back and helping Hakimi and Bacha in this case to help you defend, all right? So that's personally what I use. And then your forward just on advanced forward and attack. I did not touch that. I just left it the same as last year. All right. But if you guys have any questions regarding this, just drop it in the comments. I am more than willing to help you guys out, like personally, adjusting certain things, whatever, but this is personally what works for me. All right. Then the other formation or the other tactic that I like using is 4-2-3-1. You will see a lot of things are the same. Actually, I see that my goalkeeper isn't even on the right one, but again, you want to be using ball playing goalkeeper right here. Your fullbacks, fullback balance, your defenders, defend, and then the biggest difference here will be your CDMs. Personally, I use deep line playmaker, not ball playing, but deep line playmaker. I'm just holding. I don't know. In a 4-2-3-1 with two CDMs, holding makes it so my CDM is just very static. I feel here he will look for opening. He will look for an opening. He will try to like get involved in the tiki-taka play. And they will push up a little bit more forward than holding will do. And that's what I like in this formation. Your wingers, again, put them on inside forward and balanced. All right. It's the same principle as on the 4-4-2. You want them tucking back, also helping in defend. Then for your cam, this is a debate that a lot of people are having. Playmaker or shadow striker. You guys can pick whatever you guys feel is better. I use playmaker because playmaker comes back a little bit more and helps the CDMs and the right and left mid to be, a target to who you can pass to. Shadow striker for me personally is somebody who's gonna like, you can trigger them and they will run next to or run past your striker for a through pass. So depending of the way that you play, you're gonna want to switch this. But for me personally, I use playmaker because that's just the way I play. I build up till the box, pass around, try to score. That's just the way that I play. All right, and then striker again, advance forward and attack. Personally, guys, I like the 4-4-2 the most out of these two formations. Why? Because I have those two strikers. As I said in the beginning of the video, I build up in triangles. So the triangle in front with Pina, Vitinha and Diani, and then Patri, Chabumkun, and Nico Williams. It's just nice. That's the way that I like building up. If you guys prefer one striker and building up with a cam, that's why you should use 4-2-3-1 if you prefer that more. All right. But that's a little bit of a summary of the way that I play and also the custom tactics that I use. Again, I will put the custom tactics, the code of them, in the comments down below or in the description. It'll be like one of the first lines, so you guys can just copy it and try it out for yourselves. Let me know what you guys think about it. But this has been working for me basically since day 2 or 3. Since the game came out. Day 1 and 2, I was figuring out a lot of things. But 4-4-2 worked for me last year. 4-4-2 is working for me this year. I think especially as the year advances, as CMs get better, faster, stronger, and get more playstyles, this formation is going to be more and more overpowered, in my opinion, right? The strikers, I mean, as long as you have a striker that can finish really well. So I have Pina and Chabumkun, who have really good weak foot. They have low driven and everything. Like, that's perfectly fine. Your wingers, as long as they have pace, you can use it. But your CMs are so important in this formation, guys. So what I would definitely recommend is invest in your defense first, because you're going to want really good defenders for this formation, and then CMs. CMs are the most important ones, running up and down the pitch, and make sure that you guys have super subs. All right. What I do every single game is I switch my right and left mid. I switch my CMs and one of my strikers. That's basically what I do every single game. You don't have to switch your strikers, but you can switch a left back or a right back if they get tired. But the 4 middle players, so your 4 midfielders, you definitely want to change. All right. But let me know in the comments if you guys try it out and if you like it. If you guys have any questions, you're always free to hit me up. And I stream almost every single day live on Twitch. So if you guys have any questions regarding this, feel free to join and ask me questions. All right. Take it easy. Have a great rest of your days. And I'll catch you guys in the next one. Bye-bye.